Alright, so we have an interview with the CEO of Pokemon about Pokemon Go, and I feel that this is going to be a pretty crazy video because if you've read the title, only 10% of what the Pokemon Company and Niantic want out of Pokemon Go has been completed at this time. So I feel this video is going to be a discussion for everyone. That we're going to be talking about people that want to see Pokemon Go succeed, the people that want to see it fail, the people that were there from the beginning that got burned. There's reasons why, and we're getting a little bit more insight as to what's going on. Also, we talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch and what that means for the future of Pokemon. So we got some good stuff to talk about. Remember Pokemon Go? Here's what's coming next. One-on-one trading and battles coming to Pokemon Go. Sees promise in augmented reality technology for Pokemon games. So all that's pretty big right there, but let's go to what I really want to talk about. We've only accomplished 10% of what Pokemon and Niantic are trying to do. So going forward, we'll have to include fundamental Pokemon experiences such as trading and peer-to-peer battles and other possibilities. And I mean, this is nothing new. It's not like, oh my god, trading and peer-to-peer battles, that's coming, guys, Pokemon Go. No, well, that was like since the release of Pokemon Go. Since before Pokemon Go came out, everyone expected to have, before the end of the year. So it came out in July 2016. People were expecting, yeah, by December we should have trading, right? Maybe battles, we're hoping for a little bit about this game, and it's back on the table. Over a year later, yeah, guys, we're still doing, we're still working on battles and trade. Like, where's the holdup? Why? How is it so hard to make trading and battles for Pokemon Go? I understand that with all the other setbacks that Pokemon Go's had, that's taken development time and resources, but really there should be no excuse. Also, there was that statement from Niantic a while ago that they weren't able to do as much as they wanted to in the year. They only did half of what they wanted to for the first year in Pokemon Go, so it's just looking really bad right now. That they should have held off on releasing it or something. Like, I know they tried to make the date, but that's kind of what we see. No, the audience, when it comes to gaming, they'll either get really upset when a game is delayed because that shows that there's problems with development, or sometimes the game is pushed out roughly on time, but then there's going to be bigger issues because they weren't able to be settled, and that's going to piss people off. So I think the Pokemon Company or Niantic, they should have looked at it and been like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. You can't please everyone in this situation, and now it keeps showing, like, instead of Pokemon Go moving forward and actually becoming a better game, it seems like every time we turn around, it's like, oh, there's more delays, oh, there's more setbacks, and now more people are getting off the game when they should be getting on. We had Pokemon Go Fest into Legendaries. That was massive, but Legendaries, they should have been out for a while by that point. Also with Gen 2, you hear Gen 2, oh man, everyone's going back into Pokemon Go, right? Didn't happen. Same with all the Legendaries and stuff. Spoofing's a real issue, so that's kind of making a lot of people upset. And it's just like the game still has a lot of problems, and we got to see that with Pokemon Go Fest, and now it's like, okay, why should I play when everyone else is already ahead of me? It just feels like there's nothing really getting people back into it. Only the super hard dedicated players, or the people that didn't want to leave Pokemon Go but were kind of forced by like the lack of gameplay features, those are the only people remaining. And this is after Pokemon Go came in with such a, like, just out of nowhere, just blew up, took over the world once again, and then it died almost immediately. And the more I see about this, the more I feel that Niantic was the wrong company for the job, and that they killed Pokemon Go, and only accomplishing 10% of what they were trying to do. I mean, Gen 2 is out, Legendaries are out, and that's only 10%, so the game is ambitious. It looks like, even with the failings, they want to keep this game going for a very long time. I don't know if it's possible for Pokemon Go to have a revival, because I thought the Legendaries were going to do that. I thought that Gen 2 was going to do that, but I don't know, like, maybe trading in battles. Like, once those big issues get fixed, maybe that's it. I think the biggest thing that needs to be fixed, though, is the Pokemon encountering system. Like, Pokemon Go was only Pokemon Go for those first couple of weeks when you had the original encounter system. That with that, it felt like an actual Pokemon adventure, and the workarounds to fix that it just turned into a mobile game, not a Pokemon experience. That we have Hoenn Pokemon being teased and data mined from a recent Pokemon Go update, so it looks like we're getting into Gen 3 already. The game's accelerating at a good pace, it seems like, but still behind, and people still don't care about as much as possible. Also, we just had the Legendary Beasts come out, so with Lugia, Ho-Oh, Mewtwo, the Legendary Birds, we're all caught up on Legendaries, so that's pretty cool. And an EX Raid Battle Field Test coming soon, Raikou, Entei, Suicune being released, and this is actually really cool. I really like what they're doing with these Pokemon because they're going to be roaming. just like in Johto or from the Gen 2. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Raikou, an electric type Pokemon, can be battled throughout the Americas. Entei is going to be Europe, Africa. Suicune is going to be Asia Pacific region. But then after that, they're going to kind of keep rotating around. So September 30th, all 3 legendary Pokemon will move to a different location and will be available for trainers to battle until October 31st. One final stop on the remaining location October 31st, and then there'll be a limited time period when they're available. But I mean, I've seen these Pokemon, like, I've seen weird things happening with the legendaries. They're supposed to be kind of exclusive for a short period of time, and then they leave and come back and stuff. So I'm going to see how that ends up playing out. But overall, I think it's pretty cool that we do have legendaries. The features are catching up right there. Also, looking at the game features, you know, they're trying to balance it. That in the Pokemon world, Ice-type Pokemon are going to be in cold climates, Water-type and, like, tropical Pokemon, those are going to be more tropical climates. But in the real world, you know, you can't hop on the back of a Lugia and then zap over to another part of the region and just fly over and catch all the Pokemon that you want. For the most part, you're kind of tied down to where you live, and that's going to restrict the Pokemon that you're going to have access to. So we're thinking about ways of, how to find the right balance between game design, how our Pokemon should exist, and how players should feel about their collections. I feel that when it comes to Pokemon Go, when you see like all the hacking, all the spoofing, all the map hackings that's also contributed to ruining the game, seems like the players are a little too entitled. So I don't think that you should ruin, and if you had trading, it wouldn't be a problem. You know, if you had a trading system like the GTS or something, you could trade climated Pokemon, and then there really wouldn't be that much of an issue. And then you could also have the more higher level players trying to like seek out the higher CP Pokemon, and maybe having a range like that, you know, trading your 2500 CP Pokemon for a 2400 that you're more desirable for. So you take a little bit of a CP hit, but then they're also getting a better Pokemon return, which incentivizes them. So as long as that trading gets balanced out, I think we could have that work, kind of like how you have the levels on the GTS and stuff. Right now, if you go to the coast, you can catch water Pokemon, have a setting for electric-type Pokemon appear at power plants, but is that a good location, you know? Is it safe? Is it okay regionally? We see it as a very realistic problem. I also feel with all the hacking that's going on in Pokemon Sun and Moon, you know, you can never appease the players that want spoofing. You can never appease the players that want all the awesome Pokemon to come to them because of this entitlement that's going on. So I think that Pokemon Go should just try to focus on being the best Pokemon game that it should be. And I think that was kind of it, you know, fundamental Pokemon experiences. We need that more than anything with Pokemon Go because Pokemon Go is supposed to be the real life fundamental Pokemon experience. On the other hand, it's created a lot of social problems. Too many people gather, it causes mass confusion. Also, this isn't limited to Pokemon Go, but staring at smartphones while walking is something we have to focus and think about. And when we kind of look at, you know, it seems like Pokemon Go is here to stay. Also, it's still going like massively in Japan. The Pokemon Go Fest that happened in Japan, that had millions of players, right? Yeah, the Pikachu outbreak was a pretty crazy success, it seems. More than 2 million Pokemon Go players visited the Pikachu outbreak in Yokohama over the past 7 days. So, I mean, that was a lot of people there to play Pokemon Go and to participate in the outbreak. And I mean, after Pokemon Go Fest, you know, there was a high demand. They were able to get 20,000 people that wanted to fly across the country just to play Pokemon Go with others. So there are people that are playing Pokemon Go. But the thing is, I'm wondering like how it is locally. You know, is Japan, or do Japanese players, do they have a spoofing problem? Are they more active? We see this in the video game as well, that it looks like when it comes to the battle spot and the features that are going on with the Pokemon Sun and Moon games, people aren't doing it in America or in Europe. Like outside of Japan, the game seems pretty dead, but it seems like inside of Japan, Pokemon is thriving as much as ever, and we can see that in Pokemon Go as well. So I'm wondering if that's also what's really helping keep the game alive, but then outside, you know, the culture isn't there anymore, and that's where I just feel like that becomes a social thing. I feel like there could be a lot of social issues like right there, like outside of Japan, you know, it seems like there is a lot more entitlement, seems like there is a lot less dedication to Pokemon, and that makes the game feel worse than it's actually performing, because it still has millions of active players. We also have some other information. You know, the game has been an earnings bonanza. Revenue estimates from 1.5 billion to 2 billion. Revenue from Pokemon Go in the billions in a year. That's absolutely ridiculous, and it's a free game. Now I know it has microtransactions and stuff, but that's what people are paying. That's Pokecoins in the billions of dollars because people want the game to work out. Also, I thought Nintendo had like a 10 or 15% stake in Pokemon Go because of that. So their revenue, also 215 million from that, which is ridiculous. And it seems like Ishihara is still very confident about Pokemon Go as well, you know. Says it's just the beginning. Sat down with Bloomberg News to discuss the future of smartphone title, Nintendo Switch gaming machine, and its company upcoming Pokemon game for the new console. So yeah, there's all kind of really good stuff coming out with Pokemon right now. So I like that there's confidence, you know. It seemed like with Nintendo and Pokemon Pokemon, and especially Niantic, they did not expect the Pokemon Go craze to be as crazy as it was, and that kind of backfired. But I think there is like new confidence and new faith in what's going on with like Pokemon and how much it's been growing recently, and that there is still a very, very bright future for Pokemon and the features that can happen, and also with like augmented reality and virtual reality, all of these features, all this technology catching up, it seems like the perfect place for Pokemon to be. You know, it seems like it's going to be really good what you can do with that and the augmented reality. That's what everyone's wanted ever since the beginning. It's like, you know what? I want to be able to stare at a screen, see a Pokemon that's actually like interacting with the world right there and interacting with me. And I think Pokemon Go, that's what I think everyone has wanted. Any Pokemon fan from the original days, the Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon fans are like, man, if only the technology was there to have like a hologram Pokemon in front of us. And with like the smartphones, that's about as close as it can get. It's like it's a Pokemon getting thrown into the real world. That's I think the biggest sentimental value about it. And I think that Pokemon just needs to put that first. And it seems like they might be trying to go for those core gameplay features, which could bring Pokemon Go back. Again, I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to take, because after Legendaries, did Legendaries fail because Pokemon Go Fest failed? Were they not properly implemented enough? Same with Gen 2. Is Hoenn going to bring it back? It seems like it's a game that's kind of chugging along right now. Still successful. It's just not as successful as it was. And I don't really know what that means for Pokemon Go. I don't know what that means for the rest of the Pokemon community. But the game moves along. We're going to see where it goes. And hopefully it becomes better. You know, maybe we'll have a polished game like Pokemon Go in 2 to 3 years from now that's just going to stay. You know, that everyone's going to be like, okay, there's no problems with Pokemon Go now. It's worth fully investing into once again. And then it's just going to be like not the biggest community, not like it was when it began, but just going to be an elevated community with a lot of staying power. I don't know if that's possible for Pokemon, if they get all the issues worked out. But I haven't trusted Niantic at this point. You know, I defended Niantic to the death at the beginning. I was like, you know what, guys? They're trying their best here, but after I'm seeing them fall more and more behind. I'm seeing less and less being done about the game. So I don't really know. So hopefully for you guys out there that love Pokemon Go, that want it to get in a good place, this should be a nice thing to see. We'll just kind of have to keep our eye on Pokemon Go as it moves along. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.